How to make a fingerprint that can be lifted. Okay, guys, when you go to get a fingerprint, a shiny surface would be really good, but you're going to need some oil on your fingers to put one. So rub the side of your nose, or there's another place you can rub, and that would be behind your ear. So when you put it on the card, you're going to, or on whatever you're using, you're going to start on one side and roll the finger towards the other side. You don't want to press really, really hard because you'll smush it down. And if you smush it down, you're going to mess up with your ridges. I'm making 4 different examples here. I'm doing 2 of them with fingers, 2 of them with my 2 different thumbs. And I'm going to try to develop these using a new technique that I've never tried before. And that is using a cyanoacrylate gel. So how do CSIs lift them? In this case, what we did is we have our 4 samples, and I have a container, a disposable container. This is not going to be good to keep, so you're going to want to use something disposable you can throw away. Put a little paper towel in there and put some water in there because the water vapor actually helps lift the crystals up so that it can actually develop around it. I made this little bin out of aluminum foil. When you put it in, you have to make sure that it fits so when you can put the lid on, it can seal it. So make sure you fold it down if you need to, press it down in there so that you can actually put it in. And then I got this little cotton makeup pad from my daughter. I rated her makeup supply. You can use a cotton ball, anything cotton. This just happens to fit really nice, so I like to use this. You then take some cyanoacrylate or super glue, and in this case, I use gel. It's okay, I guess. We'll find out tomorrow, but we'll see how it works. What you want to do is you want to put a pretty good amount in there. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. If you're just using regular liquid super glue, 2 or 3 drops would be good enough. Okay, this is going to vaporize in this container. It's not going to need anything to make it do it. You can make it go faster, which I'll explain in a little bit. You can take your cards, being careful to only touch them on the side of whatever your sample is so that you're not touching where your fingerprints that you took are. You just put them into the container, preferably standing upright so that the surface is pointing towards the middle so that all of the cyanoacrylate fumes can wrap around it really nice and easily. Okay, once you have them all in, you put the lid on and keep it secured. Leave it that way for a good 18 to 24 hours.
Okay, once you've done this, now you are going to have to lift that fingerprint off of your surface. Ways that people have done this is usually you'll add some kind of fluorescent dye to the fingerprint so that it can be seen easier, or you can use some kind of powder. Then you would put your tape over it and you could transfer it onto your card. Um, before anybody takes any tape to lift any type of fingerprint, especially in this class, I highly recommend that you take a close-up picture with your cell phone so that you will have that to refer to in case you mess it up in the process of transferring your fingerprints. Um, you're now going to do a new project. This was an experiment for me. As many times as I've used cyanoacrylate to pull out fingerprints, I have never used cyanoacrylate gel. So we're going to see if this actually works. This process, using it just the way that I have set up, takes about 18 to 24 hours to develop the fingerprints. You can speed this up. If you have crystallized drain cleaner, you can take a couple chunks of it, dissolve it in water, and then put it on top of the cyanoacrylate, and it can develop the fingerprints in about 5 to 15 minutes. I don't recommend that one because it's basically pure sodium hydroxide and it's really, really strong. It can really cause some damage. So I don't prefer the idea of using that. I would prefer you to take the overnight version if you were to do this. Your new project is you're going to find your own at-home way to lift fingerprints. So here's your objective. Somebody broke into your house, but they were a good burglar, and when they left the house, they put the screen back on. So the police don't see any form of breaking and entering. So your job is to find a fingerprint that you can lift so that you can find the person who was inside your house who wasn't supposed to be. So you're going to need to get some fingerprints somewhere. You need to develop your fingerprints and try to lift them and put them onto a card that you can actually see the fingerprints. So if your fingerprints are lifted with something that is white, you're not going to want to put it on a white card. You want to find some black construction paper or some kind of dark construction paper so that you can see it. Just a little hint. The best tape to lift fingerprints is packing tape. That's the kind that we use at school as well. You're going to have a couple days to do this, so make sure you guys really think about it and come up with some creative at-home ways of getting fingerprints.